This is Free Speech News, and it is March 2nd, 2021, and we have some interesting news of the day. Big storyline. We have Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Tuesday saying he planned to open the state next week to 100%, roughly a year after the pandemic. Per this report, Abbott will issue an executive order that will rescind previous executive orders that dealt with the pandemic. Effective Wednesday, all businesses and mask mandates will be lifted. And here is a quick clip of Governor Abbott.
Effective next Wednesday, all businesses of any type are allowed to open 100%. That includes any type of entity in Texas. Also, I am ending the statewide mask mandate.
And I also believe that Mississippi is doing the same thing. And it's about damn time. Texas has had 7 million vaccine shots distributed, and millions across the U.S. have been distributed. Yet so many of these states are stuck in these crazy lockdowns, and they just will not let it go. The power they have right now, they seem to not be able to give up because we know what they fear. And honestly, it is time to open up this country. We cannot go on like this any longer. Enough is enough. And this needs to end, and it needs to end now. And we have 2 states that hopefully will cause many others to follow once they see that there is just as many infections as the lockdowns, of being open versus the lockdowns. It's not going to change drastically. We have the vaccines out there. We have the therapeutics. We have people that have the antibodies. It is time to open the country up. The American people are suffering and have suffered enough. So hopefully these 2 states set the precedent and more states will follow. At least the Republican states, because we know some of these governors will hold on to their power until the very last minute. So we will see what happens with that. Now, probably, and I'm going to say yes, not probably, but the most damaging, or the biggest news of the day, and more damaging news for Governor Cuomo, as a deal has finally been reached by the New York State Assembly and State Senate to strip Governor Cuomo of his powers. And as you can see per this report, here is some of the powers that will be stripped, and this is per the Gateway Pundit. And you can read them here. But to me, honestly, I don't think it's going to matter much pretty soon, because we have more women coming forward. I believe there might be a 4th. And I believe we're going to have more and more women coming forward, because this isn't a one-time deal. This looks like a habit to me. And like I said before in my previous podcast, that read between the lines, look at the words that he used for his apology. He simply could not blame himself. He tried to deflect. He put the blame on the victim. And this is all typical things that people like this do. He thinks he's a governor and he can do whatever the hell he wants. Well, guess what, Governor Cuomo? Your time has come, buddy. Your time has come. And another thing we must not forget about this story is the nursing home scandal. And that is still being investigated by the FBI. And we must not forget what he did to the elderly. And to me, it is essentially murder. And then hiding the numbers of the deaths. So one, he does not look bad. And two, Trump does not look good. Now, it's just sickening what this guy has done. And coming in the next week or so, I believe he is going to resign. He will not be able to hold up to the pressure of the nursing home scandal, as well as more victims come out. And they must come out, because I believe there is more than just these 3 or 4 women. This guy has been in power for how long? And you just wonder how many women he has harassed or inappropriately touched. Because just in my last podcast, amazingly, someone caught a photo of it, and the look on the girl's face is absolutely terrifying. So I do believe he is going to, and he's probably going to have to resign, feeling a lot of pressure from his constituents. And I'm sure more information will be coming out soon. And this next story ties in a little bit to the New York nursing home scandal, as we have Pennsylvania, the House of Representatives, announcing an oversight investigation into Governor Tom Wolf and his handling of the nursing homes and long-term care facilities, which is great news because he is one of 5 that had policies just like New York. And that's 2 out of 5. And we have some of the representatives coming out with a statement. And in that statement, they say, quote, last March, the PA Department of Health issued guidance requiring nursing homes to admit positive COVID-19 patients. And yes, I did say requiring, forcing nursing homes to admit COVID-19 patients. Absolutely sickening. And also, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid issued guidance on March 13th. And the guidance said, quote, nursing homes should admit any individual that they normally admit to their facility, including hospital patients where COVID-19 was present or is present. It is sickening what these people in power did. How these guidances got passed and were enforced is beyond me. Is beyond me. Something should have been done about this. They literally sent people to their deathbeds. When you're admitting COVID-19 positive patients, obviously people are going to get it and people are going to die because of it. I mean, these 5 governors and others are sickening. are just sickening. And you can look here, even in this article, they talk about the 3 other governors who did the same thing. And they must be investigated too. We have the FBI stepping up and investigating Governor Cuomo. Well, they need to investigate all of these governors, because it comes down to 5 of them who knowingly did this for reasons unknown. For reasons unknown. So the FBI must be pressured, and they must investigate these people. This is murder. And I would like to point out, speaking of Pennsylvania and the PA Department of Health issuing this guidance, remember who Dr. Levine is? She was the head of the Pennsylvania Department of Health who issued this guidance. And now she is nominated for the head of the Department of Health for the Biden administration. And this never got brought up. Why? I do not know. The mainstream media hasn't brought it up. Nobody has brought it up. It wasn't brought up in her confirmation hearing. Nothing. We must spread that news. We must not forget that she was the head that issued the guidance requiring nursing homes to admit positive COVID-19 patients. And she is going to be confirmed. Are you kidding me? Or she is confirmed? We must spread this information. These people knowingly did this, and they knew what they were doing, and they are absolutely evil and sick.